Hi, my name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can get winning high stakes speeches. Whether it's one on one in a job interview, or in front of a small group at a business meeting, or before a large audience at a conference or some event. I'm going to give you a job interview tip that I usually tell people that I coach that when you get to the point where a company is asking you to come on site for an interview, the thing to do is cancel the interview. And the reason for this is you want to make sure that the company is really interested in you. I recently advised this to one of my clients who had an interview with a big retailer, online retailer. And during my coaching session, I kind of got the feeling like I said, I have no idea what they're looking for here. I'm not even sure that this interview is right for you. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff they wanted him to do. I said, just go and cancel the interview. Immediately, the manager contacted him and explained to him what the interview is about, and he raised some concerns. And then he said, okay, I will take a look at it. And then a few days later, again, this company dumped more information on him. And I just spoke to him just a couple of days ago, and I said, look, I think this is it. If I were in your shoes, I would cancel this, and that's it. At this point, there's no point in going to this interview because this is not a project. This is an interview for a job. It should be specific to the job that you're doing or what you have done. They can't just keep piling work on you like you're doing some sort of a project for them. And that's what he did. He canceled the interview and he felt good about it, saying, you know, I felt good that I canceled it rather than be subjected to a grueling entire day of interview where it was baked for him to really fail. And he was now feeling good about his decision. That's when it occurred to me that I think everybody should do that. That these companies, it doesn't cost them actually to interview people, but it costs individuals a lot. First of all, it costs you in money. If you're working, you're giving up an entire day. And if you're traveling, it could be even more than a day. Second is there's a ton of preparation you have to do for these interviews at our top companies like Google, Amazon, and Apple. They're going to drill you, and like you don't want to be subjected to that. Look, it's fair for them to ask questions related to your work, but not something that's completely outside that. That's not even a fair question. That's like an examination. And if you're working, you don't have time to prepare for an examination. And the third, I think, is the most important. You could end up losing your confidence. I mean, you're working, you're productive, you're doing good stuff, and you're going there to add value. And now they're going to try to make you feel like you're total crap. That's not the purpose of an interview. The purpose of an interview is they get half the time to see what you know and how what you know fits into what they are looking for. The other half is the other way. You get to find out how good these people are, whether you can work with them, how well they do their job. If you're not finding that out, then it's not an interview. You're basically subjecting yourself to an interrogation. So, to close this out, interviewing is a negotiating game. You got to negotiate hard because these companies, they have tremendous resources to give you a hard time at these interviews. They're not really hiring, they're rejecting mostly. So their bias is not to hire. Your bias is to get a job. So as you can see what happens, their bias is that we're going to make sure you don't come in. And your bias is that, hey, I would love to get into this place. And that's the problem. There is a misaligned bias here. If the company really wants to hire you, they will go out of their way to hire you. When they don't want to hire you, they'll put all kinds of barriers so that you don't get in. So the thing to do is you got to flesh it out. Are they really interested? What do they know about you? uh, suck up their time. Suck up how much time are they willing to spend in knowing you well before you go meet with them face to face. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't tell you. If you have a website and you have created body of work, whether it's GitHub or your website or YouTube or whatever, they have access to that information. Send it to them. Give them work. Here's the blog I've written. Here's this article I've written. Here's the YouTube video I've done. If you have written an ebook, send it to them. Tell them, I want you to know as much as possible and see what kind of questions you are really interested in. If they're not willing to do the work on work to understand you better, don't waste your time. You're basically being set up to be rejected. Why do you want to go through that? So be very careful. As you get closer, you got to play hardball. And the thing to do is cancel the interview, let them come to you, make sure that that you are essentially 80 to 90% there of getting the job. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Because these companies are hard-coded in how they do their interview, and you got to flesh it out exactly what they're looking for. You may have to coach them, which is kind of hard to believe. You have to coach them on this is the way I want the interview. And in my client's case, that he had interviewed with this big online retailer, I said, look, they have a process, you have a process, and they're not aligned. And when the processes are not aligned, you got to get out. You can't go through the interview. So think about it and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, comments, let me know. If you need any help with an interview in the future, you can reach out to me. Thank you.